Tonight on Late Tonight with Monica Price, we have two amazing artists from the Coachella Valley. This married pair powerhouse create large sculpture installations unlike anything you've ever seen, as well as paintings, fashion design, psychedelic music videos and performance art. Their art can be found from Hollywood to South America, from Italy to Israel. Vibrant, colourful and playful, and that describes their art as well as their charismatic characters. Their company slogan is "It's a business doing pleasure with you," and it's my absolute pleasure to have them both on the show tonight. Please welcome the multi-talented artists Karen and Tony Barone. Thank you so much for joining us, and hi guys, you look amazing. I can't believe your backdrop, it's incredible.
Thank you, thank you. We wanted to keep your guests entertained, so they could either be looking directly at us or things would just be in motion to throw their perspective off.
And you know, you've both got, we're very coordinated. We didn't even realise this, but actually we're having a very coordinated
I'm the velvet pad behind the jewelry. So I'm not coordinated, I'm gone.
I love it, I love it. Now, honestly, you've got such a fascinating story, and I've been lucky enough to visited the Coachella Valley for quite a few times, and it's a wonderful place to live, I have to say. But you started off in Chicago, and I can hear your lovely Chicago accent there, Tony. So tell us, did you meet on a commuter train? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Boy, you did your homework.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw her on a train platform, and of course. I was like a heat-seeking missile. I locked on, and the train came to the platform, and she got on, and I kind of shoved my way through, and so that I could be near her. I probably knocked two people down, and she sat down in a vacant seat, and the commuter trains have reversible seats, so you could face each other. You could have a party of four and play cards or whatever. So she sat in one seat, and I jumped over this guy and to sit in the other seat, but I couldn't talk to her. I couldn't even form words, and I'm looking at her, but I had my sketch pad with me, which is something I always carry, and I drew a portrait of her.
Wow.
You want to tell them how you would?
Oh, Karen, how did you notice this guy scrambling over the chairs to try and get to you?
I did. I don't know why. I don't know. There was just lightning that took place, and you don't know why or when that's ever going to happen, but it happened. Oh. So I took note of him drawing me, but I tried not to pay attention. And at the end of the commute, just before we
at Terminus.
Just before we got off, he handed me the portrait. And I said, "Oh, are you a student?" Whoa, that about killed him.
Monica, it was a damn good portrait. My main ability is the ability to draw. And so I nailed it. And then my whole life has been like almost.
Tony, have you still got that portrait? Do you still have that?
Yes.
Oh, how lovely.
We just turned it over to, there's these filmmakers, John and Mary Orland, heavily credible, and they're doing a full-length feature film documentary on us and our work, and they have everything.
That's that. But how lovely that you kept it. How long have you two been together now?
Well, tell her that. That's a great story.
Tell the story.
That's one thing. For instance, we were interviewed by the LA Times, and we said to them at the time, we were front page, there's only 3 things you can't ask us. How old are we? Are we married? And do we own or rent?
Everybody that we were living in LA on the canals in LA at the time. And in LA, somebody comes into your studio or home, one of the first things they ask you, "Do you own this place?" Then,
can't believe it.
Yeah, they're always checking your balance sheet.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. But the best part of this story that really made it continue is that I had never taken that train before, nor had she.
Oh,
And so,
That's
because my
definitely meant
vehicle
to
was
be.
for repairs or something, and so what happened is the next day, both of us showed up at the same spot at the same time intentionally. I
no.
had to be there, so would I catch her again, you know? And she did the same thing. And then that happened every day that week. And by the end of the week, we had drinks in a very romantic little place downtown.
How romantic is that story? That's
Yeah, well,
that's a film right there, just for that part of that story. But tell me, Tony, have you always been an artist? And same question.
Yeah, I was
for
born
you,
this
Karen.
way.
Yeah.
I was born this way, yeah. Yeah, I've always been able to draw. And the drawing is the basis for everything I do. It ends up either being a painting or conceptually it becomes a sculpture. And I do all the engineering for it because I not only draw, freehand draw, but I architecturally draw. I can do the mechanicals, and I don't use a computer. We turn everything over now to geniuses with CAD systems. You know what CAD systems are? Computer art drawing, architectural. Anyway, but yes, I've always. I got her because I do. Everything I do is I've been blessed because I can draw. I got her. I got a career.
Karen, is it the same for you, Karen? Have you always drawn? Is it something that you've always done?
No, I really have not always drawn. I've always painted my face. I've always made designs for clothing, and I've always had seamstresses since I can even remember.
Karen is a full-time.
Yeah, I have
Karen
a full-time.
we have a full-time seamstress.
The outfit you're wearing tonight, Karen, is incredible. It's amazing.
Thank you. Well, I do a lot of this. I'm very tiny, and I find that I also keep it somewhat limited in how much fabric, so it doesn't consume.
Yeah, not a yard.
Yeah,
very inexpensive. Yards worth of material.
Well,
We got it.
But it's also funny because when you travel,
yeah,
and you're a person who needs to wear something different every day, and that is who I am, you're hoping that everything you take with you can be crushed down into this little bit of a container.
You know what you should do? You should just walk to the back of the room. Walk to the back of the room and walk back. So Monica can see that there's very little fabric.
Oh, don't you worry. When you come over to the UK, you'll come and see me again, and we'll have a studio audience, and we'll be able to see you in your wonderful glory. It'll be wonderful. It'll be so lovely.
I'd love to accept. Thank you.
It'll be so good. It will be so good. Now, from Chicago, obviously, you lived there for a while, and then you moved to New York, didn't you? So
Chicago was very good. Chicago was very good for us, to us, and we were doing a lot of architectural work, creating environments for restaurants and very sculptural, and it put us on the map and gave us a war chest that allowed us to, you know what, you make it in Chicago, you have a choice. LA, New York. Well, LA wasn't quite an art scene, it was Hollywood, but there was no art going on. And of course, New York was Mecca.
Yes.
And it put us in the center of the art world, which was, of course, Soho, but gave us access to Europe. And so we, in the middle of it, at the top of it, which only took about a year and a half, 2 years.
Wasn't that long?
Wasn't that long?
No, I'm embarrassed to say we actually.
Yeah, we nailed it.
Quickly.
Yeah, we were very lucky. We were with brilliant people and entrepreneurs that knew how to use us for creating these incredible, entertaining restaurants, or that were visual, environmental experiences. We kind of changed the restaurant industry. He did, or this Richie Melman from Let Us Enter, Let Us, Lettuce, entertain you. You know, we had determined that people don't go to a restaurant to eat. They go to a restaurant to be entertained. So we've been entertainers forever. And even now, I mean, that's what we do.
Right,
And
exactly.
it's something we're really missing, you know, because we're so restricted at the
Yes.
moment. You know, you know, I'm desperately missing just that going out experience. And as you say, it's just a whole experience. It's not just the food, but you
No,
know,
very much.
but I think New York embraced you, didn't it? Really? And did you
It
find
did.
that you know, that was the place where you wanted to be?
Oh, absolutely, at least for the time. So what transpired is that we were there, I don't like to mention years, but it was during the Studio 54 era. So there was
The last century. You can call it the last century.
Yes. So we went there often. We met with a great deal of success because being artists, color was an all-consuming thing in our lives, and we became the biggest small cosmetic company in the world, actually.
Yeah, Karen, you know, we had figured out that as goes Karen, so goes the nation in 5 years. So we were marketing into 5 years. And we landed in Soho. And Soho was just happening, right place, the right time, surrounded by some of the most creative people in the world. People from all over, artists from all over the world were coming over, and entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And we had this enormous success in Chicago, but when we got to New York, nobody knew who we were, and nor did they care, you know. And we were on the 4th floor in this fantastic loft, right in the middle of Soho, and we decided, and we had Chicago money, and Chicago money is worth 50 cents, 25 cents on the dollar in New York. And so we said, hey, we're going to have to do something. You know, this is going. So we went down on the street and opened a shop. We had no idea what we were going to put in it. We just knew that it was going to be sybaritic necessities, that we would create an environment that would draw people to it, and then we would figure out what we were going to sell, just like we had been doing in Chicago with restaurants. And it was just, Soho was so alive, it was magic. In fact, during that period, we had someone come from Topshop in London and came into the shop where we had created cosmetics.
Yeah.
You know, and it was, Karen had never done anybody else's face, but her color sense is off the Richter scale. Even like my strength is the drawing, her strength is color. And so we created, it was easy. First we created nail polish. We created art supplies for the face. And
then Bloomingdale's discovered us.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, Karen, because you had shops in Bloomingdale's and Macy's, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
and Galleries Lafayette found us, and it was a boom.
And
it just
the
took off.
Japanese found us. We went
10
there.
Barone stores in Japan.
It's so incredible. Sometimes you've just got to be in the right place, haven't you, at the right time? And you clearly were. New York was the right place for you to be at that time.
Yeah,
totally.
You always have to be in the right place at the right time. And artists do that. They
have a sense
they gentrify neighborhoods. We come in as artists and we're living in a Soho factory lofts, and then it becomes gentrified. And then the artists move. They move out to the next place. And we had done that in Chicago in 2 locations. West Broadway and Old Town. We you know, artists do that. They just gravitate, and they're still doing it. They're doing it in London. They do it everywhere.
Yeah, that's very true. And as you say, they do. And they tend to gravitate to places where, you know, they know that they're going to be accepted for their work and can just do good, really. Because to me, when I see some artists like yourselves, you really are spreading the love and the joy, because it's all about color and creativity, and which is, I just love that.
And so much of our art is about sculptures of animals. And animals are so dear to our hearts. And when there's,
I'm sorry.
And when there's an animal that's placed in front of an animal shelter, or this morning we
just came from an installation that was really very moving.
Mission Hills.
Westin Hotel chain Mission Hills, has this very wonderful program where in the lobby of their hotel, when the guests arrive, there's a little fenced off area with a puppy that is ready for adoption. And they,
how cute is
and
that?
they have joined up with a shelter center here, Animal Samaritans. And they, when the guests come, they to check in here, these adorable puppies, and they give them a weekend, a free weekend every year to come back, and they've placed they've placed over 150 dogs on that program.
I can imagine that would work so well over here in the in the UK, because we love our animals over here as well. I've never seen that. That's it. That's more an idea.
They're very creative. The manager, their general manager, is phenomenal. He's very open and very very creative. And so we gave them or loaned them a sculpture, a 6 or 7 foot sculpture of a dog that we did called Shelter Dog.
And it's like the perfect name.
Yeah, it's
got a big collar on it.
Yeah. It's over 2 meters high. Yeah. And it's a big puppy, and people just gravitate to it. So it delivers their message. And today we did a shoot there. It's the first, we delivered it at the beginning of COVID. Yeah. And this is the first chance. I mean, they've been closed down all this time. It's the first chance. And now they're starting to have to promote that and promote guests. And
and in the last couple of weeks, since they have opened, especially over this past Valentine's Day, they actually had 2 dogs adopted, one after the other in that period, which is very exciting for them, because there's certainly a high response for a hotel, not a shelter. And they immediately take the new owners of the dog over to the shelter dog sculpture and take photographs of them, and then post it on their website system, so that everybody can get in the spirit of what they're trying to do.
A lot of artists don't understand that, they always worry about their work being in a gallery, or, and we worry about that too. We have, we created a virtual gallery museum space. We just finished it. It's on our website, where you can, and this is a special installation of my paintings, Karen's videos, alternating.
And 2 giant pajama party rabbits.
Right. And
I love those rabbits with the spots and the polka dots.
Yes, and they have such emotion. Oh, I love them. They feel animated.
Yeah, I love them, and I love the color of them as well. And you almost just want to start dancing. Well, I did when I saw them. I thought,
yes, I do as well. I'm a dancer. Whatever can make me move, I go.
She doesn't have a chair.
No, I don't.
Her studio, I'm not even sitting down anymore at all. But she never sits down.
Really?
And she seamlessly moves from her morning exercise, her morning yoga, to her drawing board, which has got the computers on it, and then in the middle she'll stop and do a run on the grounds or among the. I mean, she never ever stops. I'm exhausted by the end of the day. I can't keep up with her.
It's what keeps you young, Tony. That's what it is.
I wish that the young part was true, but I would be older, even older.
No, you moved from, I know you're at the Coachella Valley now, but you moved from New York, and then you went to a ranch, didn't you, in Tennessee?
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah.
How fantastic is that? Again, I love the states. I love Tennessee. Beautiful state.
It is a beautiful state. And it was simply a matter of, at one point, our cosmetic company grew so much between Europe and the United States
and Asia.
We wanted to have our products, which I'm also neurotic about, that they get rid of all the things that over the years they kept adding for no reason.
When
you
put in a natural ingredient, you have to put in something to keep it from rotting.
Yes.
So Karen just got rid of all that, and started making the cosmetics in accordance to Japanese requirements. There's certain cosmetics that can't go into Japan.
Right.
You know, there are because they're not acceptable. The dyes aren't acceptable. So we decided, why don't we use that as our standard? And we did. And we were the first people who made cosmetics that was really imported into Japan. They would license and manufacture, but they never bought your products.
Right.
We really changed it.
Well,
It was
one
exciting.
of the reasons that happened too, you know, the Japanese care very much about how they package their food, their gifts, whatever it might be. And every one of the lipsticks, nail polishes, eye powders, whatever it was in a completely different container from the other one. And they were all little mini sculptures.
They were the reverse of enlarging pop art. They were the reverse of, it was the reverse of Claes Oldenburg, where instead of going bigger, we went smaller. And it became art.
That's
but
amazing. Yes, sorry.
I'm sorry, I'll give it, we would take a loose powder and put it in a little mini Chinese food container with a little wire handle, and we would take our lipsticks and put them in sticks of dynamite with little wicks because colors were explosive. So we had to do that. It was just an exciting
I feel as though we totally innovated the world of cosmetics for men, because they couldn't go into a cosmetic store and think about it, but they could ours because it was about the packaging.
Yes.
And you could definitely trust all of our staff, who were incredibly well trained, to tell them, oh, you know, your girlfriend has black hair, brown eyes, blue eyes, whatever it was. And because the packaging was so unique and entertaining, they would just keep adding it to our popcorn box that was all decorated.
We created an exploding popcorn box.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And are these cosmetics, do you still have these cosmetics now? Are they still available? Do you still
No, there was
done.
a period when we just wanted to strictly do our art. Even though all the packaging was art, all the promotional displays were art, it was time for us to fully land back on our feet without anything else distracting us.
It's almost like if you keep doing something and sometimes you're very successful at it, you become corrupted. It takes over. And we needed to get back.
It's interesting though, Tony, because if you think about it, both of you think about the way that makeup is manufactured now and the packaging of perfumes, it's become perfume in particular, the bottles have become like little pieces of art. So you were already doing that way before, you know, it's become the trend, really.
And to this day, I still can't understand how so many companies package every one of their products. Every one of their products, aside from perfume, in the same box.
Yeah, but that's
wider, narrower, taller.
Yeah, they make them all the same color package. No, but that's easy.
Yes.
I think I was going to say, Tony, you've said it. It's easy. That's why they do it. So from there, from your lovely farm in the Tennessee, you came obviously to reside in the Coachella Valley, which is a beautiful part of the world to live in. Have you found your forever home now? Do you think you'll stay there?
You know, that's such an interesting question. We don't. We know that we are fulfilled here, but I don't know what's
and there's nowhere else we're thinking of going.
No, there's no place we can fathom being better than
But if she were to decide there was a place she loved more, we're there. I'll follow her anywhere. So we're happy here. The weather is our weather.
Yes.
The site, I'm coming back today with the mountains and the palm trees.
Yeah, we were mesmerized.
And 7, I don't know what the Celsius is, but it was like 75 degrees Fahrenheit. And it was just
a beautiful place.
Well, the other reason that we're very attracted to this, along with that which is beyond compare, is that there are so many charities.
Yes.
There are so many people here giving back. And that's really very special for us. And there are several not a lot, but there are a number of charities that we do their awards that they give to people who have really helped them grow and help support their businesses, their charity over the years. So that's also a unique aspect of why it's so important to us.
But Monica, when we arrived here, more than 10 years ago, less than 16. Sorry.
Very good.
Sorry.
To be exact.
I'm not supposed to ever use dates.
Quite right. We don't do dates.
We didn't, no one knew where the Coachella Valley was. You didn't say you were living in the Coachella Valley. You said, I'm living in the Palm Springs Valley.
You did, that's right. Yes, that's
and
right.
You didn't know that. And we were almost alone. It's like every other place we've gone to, we kind of pioneer. We're all alone. We keep to ourselves a lot because we're working all the time. Even during COVID, you know, we're up and at it, and we don't stop until 8 o'clock when we go to dinner.
And do you have separate studios, or do you work in the same studio together?
We're always in eye contact, reach. The painting studio is a separate room, but the wall is out and open from where the studio, where the drawing boards are and the computers are.
And the editing
right next to it. And then we have this room, this kind of green room we're in now. We have separate little rooms. It's like a 50s, 1950, 62 modernist house.
So it's all windows.
All windows.
Wonderful.
The outside. That's why we
have mountains.
Yeah. It's fabulous.
But it is a wonderful place. I must admit, when I went there the first time, I thought, I need to live here. This is a place where I need to live, because I don't know, there's something very calming about it. You kind of look out of your window and you see the mountains and you see the palm trees, and it's all just very calm. And I even like the wind turbines, you know, that when you come into Palm Springs. I love that. I think that's so artistic.
A transitioning point really takes in and puts you in another place.
Yeah, it does.
And it's interesting you said you have to live here. That's what happened to me a number of years ago.
Yeah.
Certainly before we moved here. We stayed at the Ritz for one of my birthdays. And I said, and I've never done that before. I said, Tony, we're going to have to live here. I just know we're going to live here.
And then
that was it. Didn't think about it again for years.
And then not too long after, they hired us to come in on a mostly charrette project where we reimagined the town next to us. You know, the valley is one town after another, seamless. You don't even know you went from Palm Springs to Cathedral City to Rancho Mirage. And we were hired to be on a team that reimagined Cathedral City, that was going to make it better and arty, and we just that was
our opportunity.
That was it. It was a paradise, a paradiso.
And we still, and it's interesting because we now have a really great relationship with the Ritz-Carlton here. They often have our sculptures on their grounds to welcome their guests. So
that's what I was about to say. A lot of artists don't understand the opportunity of relationships with the private sector. They're always going to galleries, and they're always, I don't know. I don't want to be negative, but when you know, like if Easter comes along and the Ritz-Carlton blows out for Easter with a great big buffets and unbelievable, and you say, hey, and they come to you and say, wouldn't you like to give us a few rabbits? And then all of a sudden you have a relationship year after year of doing things with them. They're always coming to it, and it's fun. And so the work gets tremendous exposure, but in an conventional.
I was just about to say, in a very
unconventional.
unconventional way. And you've currently got your tour, of course, the open air tour with your
Yes,
amazing
yes.
sculptures. So tell me about that. I mean, the bunnies, the pajama party bunnies and the shoe are two of my favourites, I have to say.
Right.
But you've got, are these, is the exhibition still running? Is it going throughout the whole
Yes,
of the Coachella
it's-
Valley?
Yes.
It's
the-
basically perpetual.
Right, it's called Desert Worn 2. It's
Oh.
in the most high-trafficked corner of
Yes.
all of the desert.
Ground zero.
Yes.
Coachella.
Really. And we get so many emails and letters from people thanking us for just brightening their day.
Mm.
It's that they can't go by it
Right.
without lifting their spirits. And that's such a great thing to hear. And I know what they mean because I don't travel down that street all that often. And when I do, I get so excited because I've seen those rabbit
Yeah,
sculptures.
that's
And,
right.
you know, it could be any age, you know, to
Yeah.
because our sculpture hopefully is ageless and sophisticated and unsophisticated at the same time. You don't have to have a master's in art history to understand and have fun. And the minute a young person or an older person sees it, they're inclined to want to walk up to and get their picture taken with it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd be stopping to get my picture taken, for sure.
Yeah, every
No, that happens
sculpture
so
we do
often.
is
Yeah.
every sculpture we do is a photo op. You
But
know,
I think it's a joy as well when you see something like that. It just, and for people who are not expecting it to be there, it must be just, oh my God, you know, that it's such a joy to see something like that, particularly in that particular area.
And then we have a recently installed 2 sculpture ensemble works that are on 111, again, very high, where the old chart house was,
well,
Right.
which is a very famous landmark in this whole area.
and it burned down.
Right.
Yeah, a long time ago. So now it's been
Anyway.
there empty, and now
But it's pure
these
desert.
two
It's pure desert.
sculptures, pure desert
Right.
setting. These
Wow.
2 sculptures, and it's called Animal Crackers, and it's a, oh my God,
2.5
7-foot,
meter.
oh, I can't do it, 7.5 foot
When it rolled.
pink cherry vanilla gorilla and jaguar god of the night. This very long red
Wow.
with black markings on it. And the exciting thing about that as well is that a local, but beyond local, an LA award-winning young group of performers.
That's Pesca territory.
Pesca
you know?
Territory, yes, that's a band that were due to come over to the UK, but unfortunately, because of COVID,
Yeah, and
that all got stopped.
so we're involved in their music video,
Oh, fantastic.
but
Because they
but
very
we're not.
much-
But it's our sculpture.
It's our sculpture.
You know,
That's
it's like we're always doing something either directly or indirectly.
Yeah.
And so Zembo loved the guitarist, loves those pieces.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be
Jason, yes.
Jason.
And all of his
Right.
bandmates, we love them.
So
as
they're going to
well.
integrate our sculpture into that video. The director who is doing it flipped out with the idea. So they'll start filming it maybe a week or two.
I know.
That's amazing. And Karen, you clearly like music because you've got lots of lovely videos, which we're going to see after this interview, you know, of you just with your music, really,
Yes.
and expressing yourself there. Is that something that you really enjoy doing?
You have no idea. I think if you were to say there was an addiction, like there are so many, but this addiction for me is creating videos, the sets, the costumes, finding the music, which is I have permission to use on all of them. It's just, it makes my heart pound like crazy. I can't not do it. I mean, I seriously can't not do it.
I don't know.
I've had one, I've put up a video every Saturday on Instagram and Facebook, and now I'm also on YouTube for the last 3 years without missing a beat. That's
So
a lot of work. That's
she-
a
I
lot
was going to
she-
say that's a real lot of
editing.
work there for you to do
Yes.
that, because it takes a lot to do that.
It'll take a lot of time to edit.
She's a brilliant editor. She works about, I'm going to be conservative, 8 to 10 hours a day, and yet she does everything else, runs our life. I'm totally kept. I don't have any
This is the
responsibilities.
luckiest man you're ever going to meet.
You're a very lucky man, Tony. A very lucky man.
You don't know the half of it. I never even pick up a bill or a check or anything. I don't pay a bill. I don't do anything except work.
So where are you both going now? How do you see your future? What do you think, maybe, let's say, I don't know, it's been a very strange year, hasn't it, last year? This year, what are your plans? What, are you going to be doing any more sculptures? Are you going to collaborate with anything? I know obviously you're doing a lot with the hotels and Pesca Territory, but is there anything else coming up?
Well, there's something else coming up, but it's actually a call for artists, and that's something that we're normally
you
not
were asked to,
involved in.
Yeah.
But we were specifically asked by the city of Palm Desert,
to
where
proposal.
the rabbits are, to do a proposal for a whole new area with a farmer's market, a lot of restaurants, a lot of sidewalk dining.
It's a new area,
It's a new area for
to
them.
revitalize.
Fantastic.
And they
That's
have this
incredible.
large roundabout. So they're looking for sculpture to be on that roundabout. And of course, we have ideas for that. And we're putting that together right now.
We,
And
Oh, that's
hopefully
great.
submitting it by next week.
what we're doing is we're doing three 3-meter tall sculptures in a trilogy for the circle. So there's no front, there's no back. It's 360 degrees. And they're very surrealistic. And it's from a series we call the Thespians.
Well, let me just throw out the name. One of them is a big green figure with
from the neck
you know,
down, human figure.
and the entire head is like a head of romaine lettuce. So it's called romaine.
It's called romaine.
And then
Right,
there's
it has to
another-
be, yeah.
and that's good for the farmer's market. Then there's another
The piece
figure.
is a like pop piece. It talks to the area.
Right.
So go ahead.
And then another one is called Dog Walker, and it's a human figure to the head, and the head is a chihuahua.
Giant spherical head.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, which you gotta, when you see it, you'll see that there's a sphere and this and that, but you gotta think about the fact that each of these start as flat aluminum, and we have to make that sphere. First, we have to make a hemisphere, two
Yeah.
hemispheres to make a sphere. Go ahead. Now the third one,
And the third one,
you forgot.
no, I have not forgotten. We just renamed it so many times. Actually, it ended up being called Mater D. And it's
Right.
Mater D.
Mater D. And
Like
it's
the butler deed, yeah.
fork man, like a fork man. So its body is human, so to speak, I don't know. And its head and this part of it is all fork.
Which is logical. A human body with an eating utensil as a head.
Yes.
Makes
But see,
sense.
they're all
It makes
fork.
perfect sense when you say it
But
like
to
that.
me, they're like road signs
Yeah.
a little bit. They tell you,
Yeah.
walk your dog here, go to the
Yeah.
farmer's market here, and of course, dine here.
It's like mid-century Route 66
For me.
signage.
Yeah.
You know, where you're
Wouldn't
coming down.
Wouldn't it be great if you had one of your sculptures on Route 66? Oh, that'd be incredible.
That would be great. That would be.
You know, what I'd like Monica to see is the Pals. Pals is a hot dog drive-in that we did in East Tennessee.
Right.
And it has, we designed the whole thing, and it's a step rectangle cube, rectilinear cube, and it's got a 24-foot hot dog on one of the steps, and then 8-foot drink, a Coca-Cola drink,
Yeah.
French fries, a like 9-foot bag of French fries, and a hamburger.
It's amazing.
It's won every award you can imagine. There are
Yeah.
30-something of them now in the Tennessee region. And it's just, but again, this was a creative person we were dealing with
Yes.
who had the guts. You know, we're sitting in a
different.
Yeah, we're
That's
sitting
what
in
it
a-
takes, really, isn't it? You need somebody who's a bit visionary,
right.
creative.
You need somebody to fund it. We need people to fund it.
exactly that. But if you had one place in the world where you would like one of your sculptures, where would that be?
Wow, that's tough.
I think I would probably
The next
say,
location, wherever it is.
Yeah.
well, I love Paris,
Yeah.
and I would love it to be on
But
the
they're not gonna
Champs-Élysées.
They're not going to replace the Artists You've decided.
Well, she has.
And what about here in the UK? We need some of your lovely work
Oh.
over here in the UK, that's for sure.
You know, to me, the best one that was ever done in the UK was Klaus Oldenburg's Gear Shift, which replaced the, now I spaced out, Trafalgar Square sculpture.
Yes,
He
yes,
replaced it with a floor gear shift of a car. It was
yes.
brilliant.
Yeah.
So if there's a roundabout like that, we're ready.
Yeah.
Anywhere in London.
We'll get you over. Well,
Yeah, we
guys,
love
it's just
London.
we unfortunately we've got to finish. We've run out of time. But you know, I
Yeah.
just want to ask you one last question. What inspires you both? Because you're clearly just so inspirational and clearly passionate about your work, which is just joyous to see. But what inspires you? What keeps you kind of motivated to do what you do?
I think for myself, it's being with Tony every day and knowing that we have this dialogue always going about the creative process, and the fact that there's those mountains out there, the sun is there, there's no downtime. There's only things that we've allowed into our lives that excite us, make us want to get up and do our very best, make the most of every day. That's something my father taught me when I was very small. Make the most of every day.
And
And for
isn't
me-
that the truth, especially never more so coming out of this pandemic? Well, it's been an absolute joy. Thank you so much for coming to join me tonight. And I
You're a
really,
joy.
really want to, you know, when you're next in the UK, definitely come and see me.
Definitely.
It's been a
Guaranteed.
pleasure. Thank you so much. And we're going to
Thank you.
obviously, we're going to play out with some of your wonderful videos, Karen, that you made. So to give
We
people a
appreciate it.
flavour, just tell us quickly where people can find your work. Where can they go to?
Easy.
BaroneArt.com.
BARONE, art, A-R-T, one word, .com. BARONE,
On
art.com.
Instagram, Karen Barone Style. On Facebook, Karen Barone. And on YouTube, Spicy Playtime, Playthyme,
Time like the spice.
with Artists Karen
Spice in the
Barone.
playtime. I get it.
Love it. Oh, that's really, thank you so much. Honestly, it's been a
Thank
real
you.
pleasure. Thank you. So
Pleasure's
that's my
ours.
guest for this evening, but thank you so much for joining me. Come and join me again next week, where we'll have some more exciting guests for you. Take care now. Bye-bye.